This is the 2022 Honda Accord LX. I borrowed this model from my friends at Holmes Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Let's talk a little bit about the exterior to get started. You will find 17-inch alloy wheels, LED low-beam headlights, and moving into the interior, we find cloth seats, a 4-speaker 160-watt audio system, dual-zone climate control, and a fold-down rear seat back. Technology includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto front USB ports, an 8-inch display audio touchscreen, and push-button start. Speaking of the push-button start, let's open the hood and talk about what you will find there. And under the hood is the 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 192 horsepower, 192 foot-pounds of torque, mated to a single-speed CVT, continuously variable transmission, and power ultimately makes its way to the ground via front-wheel drive. Gas mileage numbers are impressive. 30 miles per gallon city, 38 miles per gallon highway, a combined total of 33 miles per gallon. And according to Honda, per every 100 miles you drive, you should use 3 gallons of gas. Cargo capacity numbers come in at 16.7 cubic feet. And even though I can't show you one-handed, there is a spare tire located under the floor, so no tire repair kits here. That's always a plus. And if you want to release the rear seats to fold down to maximize cargo capacity, there's one single release back there, as you can see, because you don't have a 60-40 split here. Let's see if I can get that down one-handed. There we go. Now you can see how you do that. It's all one solid piece that obviously you can fold down from either side. And of course, like I said, this ivory interior, it looks very elegant. Not something that a lot of people might associate with an Accord, but yet here it is. A very nice look, very nice materials, and we'll just hop in and take a quick look at everything. The interior is spacious. Now, you only have the one map pocket. Don't get tongue twisted there on the rear seat. Would you like to see one on both? Most likely we'll have to ask the rear seat passengers about that. Now, you don't on the LX trim level have anything back here except for a little bit of storage space. Maybe put a phone in there, whatever fits. No air conditioning vents and no USB or connectivity back here. But obviously you can step up in trim level and come up with those options. Fold down armrest and cup holders built in. And taking a look in through the passenger side door, you will find a larger door bin on the driver and passenger side, such as what we're looking at right here. And just a quick look around. The seats are adjustable, but both are manually adjustable. Very comfortable, by the way. And just to show what's here, let's take a quick look into the glove box just to show some of the large amount, actually, of storage space located within the interior. And taking a look in through the driver's side door, of course, not much different than what we saw on the passenger side, but you will find a few more accessories here, such as the controls for the side view mirrors. Those are power side view mirrors. You can open the trunk right here. If you're going to take a look under the hood or need to open the hood, there is the release for that. You do have a manually adjustable tilt and telescopically steering wheel, which you're going to release right here. Go ahead and hit the push button start. Show you what's here. A nice looking dashboard. Everything looks nice and modern. Very easy to use. Of course, there's that option that a lot of people pretend like they don't have, the blinker lever. If you don't know how to use that, I actually have tutorials in a few videos in case you didn't know how you make that happen. Or that happen. Actually, I just showed you, but anyway, that corresponds to the blinkers on the outside of the vehicle, in case you didn't know. Now, we'll put the Accord into reverse and take a look at the multi-view rear camera. And as you can see, depending on what you want to see, you can make your choices there. So you can work your way back and forth here. You can also use the options that you have on the screen right here if you want to dim the screen. I know when I first got a vehicle that had this kind of a feature, I had to get used to the brightness of the screen, or maybe dim that at night, depending on what I wanted to do, or what I was used to, I should say. So just so you know what's there. Pretty easy to use, pretty easy to figure out, especially for those who are new at this kind of technology or new at learning to use it, haven't had it in your vehicles before. It's not that difficult. And you do have dual zone climate control, even here on the LX trim level, just so you can see what is here. A little bit of connectivity down there. There are USB ports in the vehicle, as you can see, and a 12-volt power outlet. No wireless charging. If you did, of course, that would be right there. But if you want to conceal that away, make it have a little bit cleaner look depending on your situation, well, there you go. And for those of you who are not a fan of push button shifters, well, obviously you don't have that here. So that's a good thing. You do have Econ mode. If you wish to drive in Econ mode, you can turn the auto stop start feature off. Of course, power parking brake and brake hold mode. If you're not familiar with brake hold mode, what exactly is that? When you come to a complete stop, the brakes stay locked until you push the gas again. So depending on what you want to do, well, that is there. There are a couple more cup holders. And last but not least, here is the center console. And if you don't like this tray right here, you can easily remove that and you have even more space down here and a little bit more connectivity. Okay, let's get out here for our test drive. And the thing I like here is that I can go ahead and step on the pedal a little bit. You can hear the engine going to work, and I'm going to tell you what, getting up to speed here, and actually a little more than I probably needed to, is no problem. That's one thing about these turbocharged motors. When you ease into the gas, but just kind of consistently, and don't take it slowly, but you know, it's probably hard to understand for somebody who's not a gearhead, but you'll actually get more out of it as far as acceleration goes instead of just flooring it. That's just the way the turbochargers act on some of these cars. But still, even with that single speed CVT, I must say, I'm impressed at how this Accord handles. And I know a lot of people are not in favor of that single speed, continuously variable transmission. Even my tongue isn't, kind of got tongue twisted a little bit there. But I'll tell you what, of all the multiple vehicles I have driven that do have the CVT, Honda seems to have the best behaving of any vehicle on the road. Now, I don't think I've done every single one, of course, but quite a few. And so, based on my experience, that's what I have to say. But one thing I really want to make a good point on here is that even though this is the LX trim level, it's obviously not the highest. Still have a lot of great features here. Handling is great. That's one thing about these Accords, the way they're built. Even though this is by no means what I would call a sports car, most certainly not high performance, but it handles great. It hugs curves. When you drive it down the road, the steering is really pretty tight. Very little play in it. It feels more high performance than not. So if you're looking for a well-balanced vehicle that has plenty of cargo capacity, plenty of passenger space within the interior, great handling. It'll get up and go when you need it to get up and go, but also it's going to give you great gas mileage. If you're driving back and forth a reasonable distance on your daily commute or whatever it is you may be doing, this car is one of the best balanced on the road for all of those things that I personally think you're going to find. So kudos to Honda. One thing I always like to point out, even though I can tell you about my experience on the test drive, it's never going to replace getting out and test driving for yourself.